book lovers, Kristi from the Book Bar here, bringing you another educational video, this one over how to write a well-structured scene. So a few ground rules about scenes. Scenes are the building blocks of your novel. I am not talking about chapters and scenes being the same thing. They are not interchangeable. No, book world. No. Sometimes an author will write in scenes and label their chapter for each one, so they'll end up with a book with a lot of chapters. Or other authors, actually the majority I believe, will write several scenes in one chapter. When you break your novel into scenes, you're able to keep up with your pacing, your plot, and your character arcs much better than if you didn't. A scene takes place when there is a change of state. That is when the character has learned some piece of new information that moves the plot forward. Every scene needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Much like Freytag's pyramid for plot, there's going to be an inciting incident, some rising complications, a turning point, a climax, and a resolution. When you hear me talk about opposition, conflict, or complications, they're all interchangeable and going to mean the same thing. Tension is what drives your story forward. When you're writing a scene or reviewing the scenes you've already written, make sure that there are 4 different things happening in them. Your character, their goals, the opposition is working against them, and a change of state. Also, ask yourself 4 different questions. Number 1, what does the hero want? Now, the hero of your scene may not be the main character of your book. You're going to have different scenes, especially if you're writing in third person, where your main character doesn't appear. It could be the antagonist or a secondary character. However, whoever the main POV character of that scene is, they also need to have a goal for that scene. Question number 2, what is the opposition or the conflict? Remember, tension drives the story. Now, this could be character versus character. Maybe they're fighting another secondary or antagonist. It could be character versus self. Maybe they have an inner conflict that they're dealing. It could be character versus nature, character versus technology, character versus society. There are many more, but those are a few of the basic ones. You get the drift. Question number 3, what is the change of state? Did your character go from happy to sad? Did they get a new piece of information and go from unknowing to informed? What was the change of state in your scene? You have to have one in order for it to be a well-structured scene. And question number 4, how does this scene influence the main character's overall character arc? Every decision that is made in each scene, whether it be with your main character or with another secondary character or antagonist, will impact or has to impact their overall character arc. Otherwise, your reader is going to wonder why in the world they're reading this. So writing a novel doesn't have to be overwhelming. And in this next section of the video, I'm going to give you a few tips in order to make your well-structured scene come to life. Do remember that every scene needs to start with your POV character having a goal. It could be as simple as trying to make it to the bus stop on time so they can get to work, or it could be as complex and difficult as them going up against the antagonist and trying to save the world. Whichever the case may be, there has to be a goal. So let's talk about what a scene is and what a scene is not. A scene is a moment in time with one POV character, one setting, and a cast of characters. And when there is a change in any one of those, and along with their state, again, from happy to sad or unknowing to knowing, then the scene has changed. What a scene is not are long descriptions of setting or backstory or info dumps or a long laundry list of why a character is doing things. That is not a scene. Referencing Freytag's pyramid for plot again, every scene needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. First, there needs to be an inciting incident. The inciting incident is that first bit of conflict or the opposition that's going to get in your character's way when pursuing their goal inside the scene. So this is going to cause them to either create a new goal or adjust the one that they currently have. Number 2, it's going to be your progressive complications or your rising conflict. This is driving your main character to the turning point. Now, the turning point can be seen in one of two ways. You're either going to have an active turning point where something has happened in their physical world and that is causing them to change their plan, or it can be a revelatory turning point where your POV character has received some form of new information or they have realized something, and again, that has put them on a little bit different route than they originally were on. Number 3 is the crisis moment. Now, this is where your POV character is going to need to make a decision. Will they choose X or will they choose Y? What's important to remember here is that X and Y must hold the same weight. They either have to be both good decisions or both bad. You can't have one being good and one being bad. Otherwise, that's a predictable decision and not a good story. So your character now has to be faced with either 2 good decisions or 2 bad decisions, and both have to have stakes. What will they lose or gain by choosing X, and what will they lose or gain by choosing Y? Again, that creates tension, and tension drives the story. Number 4, the climax. This is where your POV character takes action. Did they choose X or did they choose Y? Something important to remember here is that your POV character needs to be the one making the decision in most of these scenes. If a secondary character is the one doing it for them, then what happens is you run the risk of that POV character not having an agency. And over time, if it happens a lot, then the story becomes about the secondary character and not that character that's in the scenes. Number 5, resolution. This is where we get the glimpse of how that decision that POV character made worked out for him or her. And this is going to drive us into the next scene. All right, that's it. That's all you need to know about writing a well-structured scene. If you have questions, please do drop those in the comments. Also, let's support each other in this writing journey that we're all on. And please subscribe to the Book Bar. Follow us on Twitter @BookBarAuthors. Ring the bell. You know what to do. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Thank you.